In fact, those who reject the true God have created gods of their own, false gods, and thus they have violated the first commandment and are under judgment. They have no guarantee of their next breath. They have no promise of a protector, no one to care for them. They are outside God's kingdom. They're in the kingdom of darkness. They're in the kingdom of death. They should be afraid.
I mean, let's go over some of the details of this. The president says the solution to the economic pain from the coronavirus outbreak is a massive rescue package. He's asking Congress for a huge bailout, and it is one that, as you mentioned, would include cash payments from the government that would be sent to most Americans within 2 weeks.
It's going to be bold, and the level, again, of enthusiasm to get something done, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it.
This morning, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin will be meeting with Republican senators about the president's plan. He will ask for a total of $850 billion to deal with the economic fallout from the coronavirus. $50 billion of that would go to help bail out the airline industry. The president also wants to see the government send cash payments to Americans immediately to cushion the economic blow from the outbreak. No word on exactly what the amount of those checks might be, and the payments would not be sent to millionaires. Also, the package would include allowing people and businesses to delay tax payments without interest or penalties for 90 days beyond April 15th.
We want to make sure Americans get money in their pockets quickly. We want to make sure small business owners have access to funds. We want to make sure that hotels, airlines, we have an entire package. We'll be laying out those details later today.
We want to go big, go solid. The country is very strong. We've never been so strong, and that's what we're going to be doing. We don't want, with this invisible enemy, we don't want airlines going out of business. We don't want people losing their jobs or not having money to live when they were doing very well just 4 weeks ago. So we're going big, and that's the way it'll be, and that's the way everybody seems to like it.
The phrase of our Lord here is emphatic, and I mentioned it, but let me mention it again. Verse 32, the Gentiles seek, you could say, with all their energy, totally consumed in material gratification for survival.
We're working quickly to get money into people's hands so that no matter what happens during this period, they can afford the essentials.
The federal government pledged billions of dollars today for Canadians and small businesses, all to keep the economy going during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Let's start with people who don't qualify for employment insurance and don't have access to paid sick leave. Our government will introduce the Emergency Care Benefit.
The benefit would give $450 a week to independent workers who have to self-isolate or who are taking care of a sick loved one. It also covers parents who don't have paid leave and are taking care of their children now that daycares are closed.
Canadians can apply online. We want this to be as easy as possible so that people who need this help can get this help.
There's also an emergency support benefit for laid-off workers who don't qualify for EI, giving them up to 14 weeks of support.
Canadians are also worried, of course, about bills that are coming due.
There is also an expanded Canada Child benefit worth $300 per child, and low-income families can get a GST credit top-up worth nearly $400 for a single person or $600 for a couple. Low-income families can get a GST credit top-up worth nearly $400 for a single person or $600 for a couple. And a big one for homeowners. The door is open for mortgage relief. The government working with the big banks to offer people a 6-month break. Banks will also offer help on car payments and other loans.
And they've committed to me that they will work with individuals and with businesses on a case-by-case basis to provide additional flexibility in the face of hardships.
There is also a 6-month pause on paying back Canada's student loans. Plus, people and businesses now have until June 1st to file their taxes and until September 1st to pay them. A more immediate concern for businesses, paychecks. There, the government offering direct support.
For small employers, we will provide a 10% wage subsidy for the next 3 months, up to $25,000 per employer. This is effective immediately and will help keep Canadians employed.
With the rocky markets, Morneau telling seniors he's lowering the minimum amount they must take from registered retirement accounts to give their investments a chance to recover. Today's measures also have millions for Indigenous communities and shelters.
Combined, this $82 billion in support represents more than 3% of Canada's GDP.
The next step? Recalling Parliament to pass these measures into law. Morneau saying all political parties have been kept in the loop, and he expects to have the new programs ready to go in the next 3 weeks. He's also saying this won't be the last major economic announcement.
When the time is right, we will announce more long-term investments to assist with recovery and help Canadians get back to their daily lives.
But how different are we? We are in God's family, and God assures us of a full supply of everything we need. It is shamefully wicked for a child of God to come down to the level of the heathen who don't know God. You're in God's family. The people of the world seek these things, and right they should, because they're their own protectors. They are their own saviors, temporally speaking, in a sense. They're on their own. They need to worry about food. They need to worry about drink. They need to worry about clothing. They need to worry about life.
Excuse me? Go away from my daughter. Please. I just want one pack. No, not one pack.
Stop. You need to get off this trolley now. You need
Hey, fuck!
Hundreds of shoppers rush into a Los Angeles Costco this morning with this warning. Supplies are being rationed to keep up with the unprecedented coronavirus panic shopping. Customers run down store aisles at full speed and then quickly start loading up their carts. Within moments of this Costco opening, a sea of shoppers came back to this area where the water and paper goods are stored. Our camera crews were allowed exclusive access inside the store before it opened.
But they have to understand this. To do that, you end up serving money. Go back to chapter 6, verse 24. You can not serve two masters, for either you will hate the one and love the other, or be devoted to the one and despise the other. You can't serve God and wealth.